Hey guys, LootWizard here. Another beautiful day in Gems of War, and we have a new faction out for the underworld called the Deep Hive, and it's all about insects, and we got insect troops. There's a nice, beautiful little graphic icon here that looks like a bug. It's very well done graphic. I like the way that looks. And so we're going to be going into how to maximize your rewards, what team I'm using in this event, and all that good stuff. So let's get right into it. First of all, how I go about doing this, my strategy is that I'll come in here to portals first, open the 200 shard portals, because you're opening 10 at a time, and I will keep doing that until I get, all 4 of the cards. I may not get enough of them to upgrade them all to Mythic right away, but I'll at least try to get all 4 of the new cards. Now, you will also get underworld treasures by doing this, and those treasure cards are very important. So, step 1, I use the portals first to get my troops and treasure cards. Then after that, I come over to the Horde, and I use the treasure cards to upgrade this faction to at least level 100, and I try to get it to quality 10, because that's going to maximize my rewards when I start doing the event. And one important thing to take note of is that you will have to spend gold in order to use these cards to upgrade the faction. And the higher rarity cards will be cheaper. So as you can see here, when I put these 2 in there as the highest rarity, Sacred Treasure, it'll cost me 48,000 to upgrade it once again. And that gives me a 100% chance. You never want to go ahead and add treasure here unless you have a 100% chance. Otherwise, you will be wasting gold if it doesn't, if that small percentage ends up being what you get, and then it won't upgrade. So, but you do want to try to use the higher rarity cards, because if you go down here and you try to upgrade it, let's say with this blue one, it's 122,000 gold instead of the higher rarity here is going to cut that way down to 48,000. So you do want to use the lower rare or the higher rarity cards first when you're upgrading, just to save you gold. Okay, so it's important to get the level and quality up there, because the level will raise the stats on all your troops that you use in the event. Quality will give you a bonus multiplier to all of the rewards that you receive for defeating the rooms and ultimately that boss room. Now, once you get it up to Horde quality 10, you will get a 3+ bonus to that chest once you defeat the boss room. So you're going to get a lot of more rewards by coming in here and doing this first. Once I have this all done, then I will go over into the new faction assault here. Now, if you're wondering where you get shards, you get those portal shards from your adventure board. You get them from some of them. You will get from challenges on the different kingdoms. But most of them come from doing your factions daily. So you get 3... let me go back to the underworld here. You get 3 chances here, right here, to do a delve run every day. And so by coming in and doing those 3 daily... and you can do them at lower levels. You don't have to try to push them really high, although I try to do that with some of these. But you can keep some of them low and do those 3 runs daily, and you'll be getting, probably a couple hundred shards daily, and that'll add up. That's why I have 15,000 shards here. And that's how you're going to be able to get these new troops. And some of these faction troops are not to be underestimated. Some of them are some of the best troops in the game right now, like the Gobtroffles, which you can get. Which kingdom is it here? Ammon Anthrax, however you say the name of this kingdom here. This is where you get your Gobtroffles, okay? So if you want to get this guy right here, which is one of the strongest troops in the game right now, then you need to get portal shards, and you need to go over here and open these portals for this kingdom. Okay, so now that that's covered, we can go to the new faction here. And, yeah, so upgrading your kingdom is really important for getting rewards when you're defeating all of these battles, and those rewards are separate from these rewards on this tab. And there's pretty good rewards here as well, so you do want to try to get your points in there, get as many battles going. and try to reach as high as you can. There are at least 4 different orbs of chaos in here if you do reach all the way up to stage 16. And in the shop, you will have to end up purchasing with gems a couple of these tiers just so that you can have some extra turns. And it really does help to have the potion of enchantment and the potion of explosion. That really helps get the battle moving a lot quicker for you. The new weapon here, I would say if you have the gems, try to get it because you never know when it's going to be something really amazing. It will deal 25 damage to an enemy and then charm them. And what charm basically does is it will deal that troop's attack to the troops above it and the troops below it. So especially once you get in these delves, that could actually do quite a bit of damage because if the enemy troop has something like 200 attack, it'll do that 200 attack damage to troops above and below it. Now it says independent 30% chances to gain an extra turn and half my mana back. So I'm assuming with that it's a 30% chance that it has to gain an extra turn and a 30% chance to gain half its mana back. So that's interesting. And that seems to be the theme for all of these cards. So before I go in and do a battle here to show you what I'm using, let's go take a look really quick at these new troops here. So we have the Beetle Blade, which will deal a certain amount of damage here, 27 for me. If there are 13 or more brown gems on the board, it will deal triple damage. So be close to 90 damage for me. And you would think, oh, it's going to be kind of hard to have 13 or more brown gems. But the thing is there's a troop in here, the legendary card, Queen Beetrix, which will create 9 green and 9 brown gems. So you will have the opportunity to get that triple damage fairly quickly when you're casting the legendary card. Now, this troop does summon a Dust Storm at the start of battle, so you'll have that brown gems falling down quicker. It does have Stealthy on its trait. And moving on to Moth Mage, we have a 15 damage to all enemies. Now, that damage is going to be boosted by your magic, and especially since you upgraded, hopefully, your Horde level like I did, you're going to get a bonus to magic. Probably, if you get it up to like level 100 and a little bit over level 100, you're probably going to add another 10 magic to that, so it'll be like 25 damage to all enemies. And then, of course, it has the independent 25 chances boosted by brown gems to gain an extra turn and half my mana back. Boost ratio is 2, so you can increase the percentage of chance to gain your mana back and gain an extra turn. So that's pretty cool. Queen Beetrix is the legendary card here, and as we mentioned, it will create 9 green and 9 brown gems. It will deal true scatter damage. For me, it's like 66, but of course, we're going to boost that magic, so it's probably going to be somewhere up there to maybe like 80 or so damage. Then there's an independent 40% chances to gain an extra turn or half my mana back, and 40% is pretty nice. The other ones were like 25 or so. So this one has a 40% chance to gain an extra turn or half its mana back. So that's pretty cool. As far as the traits, the last one is interesting. It will cleanse all allies when matching 4 or more gems. So cleanse is pretty nice. So that's something good there. Moving on to the last troop, we have the Scarab Knight, which is more your defense troop. It's going to gain a barrier and 26 armor. And then there's independent 25% chances boosted by brown gems to gain an extra turn, half the mana back. And then it will reduce damage from skulls by 50%. So this is like your defense troop, and this actually is a pretty good troop probably for defense teams and maybe PvP or, in other cases. Because this troop, gaining barrier and gaining armor at the same time, and then it has a chance to gain half its mana back. Plus it has damage reduction here from skulls by 50%. That's pretty nice. And it's a low mana cost as well. The other thing to take note of is all 4 of these troops are considered wild folk troops. And wild folk troops are pretty powerful generally in the game. And you do have a legendary wild folk troop that will allow all other wild folks to start with 50% mana. So that is also an option to make a team where they start with 50% mana as well. So yeah, I think these troops here have some promise. And Queen Beetrix, I think, does have some pretty good promise here because it's going to generate mana and it's going to generate at least one color that it uses for itself, and then it's doing true scatter damage, which the nice thing about scatter damage is it has increasing returns on damage, whereas damage all types have a diminishing return on damage. And what I mean by that is, like, if you have a troop that does damage to all enemies, let's say it does 10 damage to all enemies, well, once an enemy dies, now you're still going to be doing that same damage to all enemies, but one enemy died, so you're really going to be doing less overall damage to the enemy team if you have damage all. Now, if you have true scatter damage or just scatter damage, it will do less damage to begin with, because that's damage is going to be spread out among all 4 enemy troops. But as the enemy troops start to die, and you have, let's say, 2 troops left or 1 troop left, especially when you have only 1 enemy troop left, that scatter damage is going to be doing all of its damage to that single troop. So instead of the damage being split out, like a damage to all enemies would be, that's the scatter damage is going to get focused directly on that last troop. So it has increasing returns on the damage. Hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes I don't explain stuff too well, but anyway, let's go in and see what I'm doing here with my team. And I started some battles. I got up to level 130, and yeah, it's pretty fun. I like the team that I got going. So what I'm doing is I have a forest troll at the top and then 2 queen Beetrix troops, because, well, the forest troll is going to generate my green for me, and it's going to fill up my queen Beetrix troops, and then it's going to create 9 green and 9 brown gems, and the brown will fill up the forest troll and come down to Dragon's Eye. And then also, yeah, and the green's just going to fill any green that the queens create are going to go right back into the queen. And it's just going to keep cycling through like that. Now, Dragon's Eye I picked because it's also a mana generator and will destroy gems. But there are some annoying troops that I think just deserve to be transformed, and it's fun to do that. Another weapon that I was experimenting with is a doomed weapon in here. But really, any weapon that you can pick that has green or brown color in it will probably be good down here, just because the forest troll is going to be creating your green, queens are going to be creating green, and then the queens will also create brown. So once the forest troll is full, any extra brown will just go right down to your weapon, and that's kind of my plan. So we'll see what we got here. And the troll is full already. So, and there's lots of green to play with here on the board. That's always fun. So I'm just going to cast the queens, and remember, the queen does have a 40% chance to gain half its mana back and an extra turn. So we're going to be dealing with a lot of that going on, where it has extra mana. It has those extra turns, and as you can see, I didn't even hardly use any of the other troops here. I was just that one queen as we cycled through. So it's probably better to have a weapon down here that does like some kind of damage that's not scatter or all damage. Just because there are some troops in the delve that you're doing here that have submerge, and once they get submerge on them, scatter damage and damage to all, it'll get dodged. So you really do want a way to do damage to them. So that's one flaw that's in my team right now. But yeah, as you can see, we're doing true scatter damage, so all of the damage is going right to the health instead of it's bypassing that armor completely, which is nice. See, that's what I was talking about right there with the submerge. But here's the thing. We're going to, well, we could do a skull damage there to it, but we're going to transform it because I'm pretty sure once I transform it, that pesky little submerge is going to get knocked off. There it is. So I actually I am prepared for submerge. And then it submerged itself again. Well, you're no fun. Yeah, so, I'm kind of prepared, but at the same time not. So, in order to do damage to this guy, I need to get my Dragon's Eye here full again so I can transform it, and I need Brown to do that. Well, now the Submerge is off. Let's kill that thing. There we go. Pesky little Submerge. Alright, we got a full Orc team we're going up against. Let's see how we do. I'm sure we're going to decimate them because, you know, Queen Bees are way more powerful than Orcs. No chance at all. Can you imagine a scene from, like, Lord of the Rings where just, like, a swarm of bees just are attacking Orcs and they just run, like, you know, run away? I mean, that's what they should have done, you know? It would have been awesome. Probably not, though. Like, that would be just... That's something you expect to see in, like, some kind of, spoof film. Anyway, yeah, I'm really liking these queens, you know, how they just cycle through like this. It's really, really fun. Because a lot of times you're getting that extra turn, and a lot of times you're getting that half mana back, while it's always creating the 9 green gems and the 9 brown gems. So it's really fun. So let's see here. I'll just get the queen started because it's full already. Ah, and you just had to convert all my green gems to brown, didn't you? Now I can't even use my forest troll. What the heck? Well, we created some green with the queen bees, so the enemy's plan failed. We do have another submerge, and we'll get to that. Once I kill the rest of these guys, we're going to transform them. And then, yeah, we'll see how smart he is then. Get all these pesky 4 matches out of the way. Alright, get transformed, buddy. Ah, and then you're gonna... Well, let's fill that up again with the brown. Transformed you once again. It's just gonna keep doing that because the baby dragon starts with full mana, and it's just gonna... I need to use a different weapon for that. For sure. There we go. We finally got rid of them. Yeah, for the next round, I'm going to switch out to a different weapon. Because that is... Submerge is being really annoying right now. Anyway. Try to get our forest troll up. And then both our queens should be powered up. Let the fun begin. We didn't get an extra turn that time. And of course, submerge. Yeah, let's transform him. The nice thing about transform is that even with this pesky submerge thing going on, is it gives it a lot less health and armor. Even with that, so that's nice. Alright, let's finish off the boss room, and then we can switch out that weapon. I'll probably go with a doomed weapon. But we'll see. There might be a better option. Yeah, we'll take brown. 10 green gems. Yeah, let the fun begin. Ah, that bugger is, what? Man, it cast like 3 times. That's because it was getting that extra turn stuff going. Half its mana back. Yeah, let's go ahead and transform this diabolical beetle. Take that. Yeah, and I got an extra turn, so he's dead in 1 hit. Claim my rewards. I should get quite a bit here. I got shards. I got 36,000 gold. That's cool. Alright, we're going to go in and we're going to change our weapon here. Green or brown. That's what you need to look for because those are the colors being generated. And we could use Essence of Evil. That could be really devastating. But I think I might try this first because this here is going to transform green gems to doom skulls. And that will be absolutely devastating because we're going to create a lot of green gems with the forest troll and with the queen, the 2 queens here. We can change our class to probably Titan just because we got forest troll here. That'll let that start with 50% mana. We'll keep the same color of banner. Now let's check this out. I'll do a couple of battles with this and see how this weapon works, and then I'll end the video there. Ooh, we only got 6 green. That's not great. Yeah, 7 green. 8. We'll try 8. Yeah, okay. We got a queen up. That's good. Now let's just cycle through it. Easy. We didn't even need to use the weapon, but you know, I really want to just save the weapon for those submerged troops or troops that are like really annoying. I could probably avoid submerge if I looked at what negative status effects are gonna happen here, or positive status effects for the enemy team on each of these rooms. But I'm kind of being lazy with not looking at that. We'll get the queens going. If I see any like 4 matches with green gems and skulls, I'll probably throw down the weapon. We do have a 4 match here. This is going to transform green gems to doom skulls, and it's going to do, it's going to do a lot of damage there too. Let's just give that a roll and see what happens. Pow. And we got another match there. Another match there. And we got the weapon up again. That's nice. Yeah, so that weapon works good. I'll probably stick with that for a while. But like I said, Essence of Evil or any like green or brown weapon can work pretty good. So we'll do one more battle here and then I'll end the video there. Forest Troll is like really great though for a lot of these teams that require green mana. Yeah, unfortunately, he's got that Grave Seer, which just transforms my green gems to purple, which is not nice. But he doesn't stand a chance against the Queen Bee. Alright, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hopefully you learned something or found it informative or you liked it or you just enjoyed watching it. Any of that stuff. I'll catch you guys on the next video and I'll post my team in the description below. So hope you guys have a lot of fun with this event and good luck with those rewards and orbs and all that good stuff. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.